from a musical family. How strong are the influences that you were surrounded by as a kid, or how relevant are they to what you're doing now?
Certain memories probably stick. Like, I do have a memory of my dad when we lived in this little 2-room house. So the bedrooms were in one room and the living area was in the other room. I have a memory of drifting off to sleep listening to my dad playing sort of open-tuned acoustic guitar and just sort of feeling, you know, this feeling of sort of contentment and kind of, you know, blissing out, I guess. So some of those sorts of sounds are probably the sort of things that are, you know, part of my music now.
Yeah. And was there ever really a choice for you about playing music, or did you just feel like it was part of your inheritance?
No, not at all actually. Like, I was quite on a different path through adolescence and early adulthood. Like, I did play, particularly guitar, and I was starting to get into singing and writing songs as a teenager, but it was always as just an outlet. And I was pretty into academic stuff as a teenager and studied and got sort of, you know, super good marks at in the final sort of year. Went to went to university and then left after a year. So went off on a tangent.
What really impressed you about Melbourne in particular?
I liked the fact that there was all these different little areas that had their own little sort of strips that had a certain sort of their own different characters. Like, you could go to you know, Balaclava or something, it was this happening little place with its own culture, and then you go over to Northcote and it was something else, and then across to Brunswick and there's this little, you know, just pockets of interesting things happening, rather than sort of, you know, one kind of centre of the CBD and then plus a bunch of suburbs tacked on, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And recently you finished up recording a new album.
Yeah.
It's not your first album by any means, but how was the whole experience of working with Jeff Lang as producer, and, you know, how is it sounding to your own ears?
Yeah, it was a great experience in a lot of different ways. Having a producer was took the weight off me a lot, in terms of meaning that I didn't have to sort of take responsibility for the sessions and how everything was going, and as well as sort of trying to keep track of, you know, how the whole project's rolling along. So I just sort of turned up and played, so it was great in that regard, much less stressful. And as far as Jeff himself goes, it was a really great opportunity for us, because he's sort of been one of my favourite artists of the last few years. So I kind of had a lot of trust that what he would do would be along the lines of, you know, what we want or what we're after. And yeah, it was just great to spend some time with him and sort of learn as much as I could, basically.
Yeah. And what were some of the lessons that you came away with out of that?
Well, lots of little things, just sort of in his attitude towards playing music in general. Like, I remember sort of early on, one of the things he said as far as performing was he was just talking about sort of seeing a performance as something you kind of just throw over your shoulder and then that's it, you know, it's gone, that's cool, sort of. Not in the sense that you don't care how it sounds, but just that, you know, that was a moment and you let it out and move on. So that sort of attitude kind of was how we did the recording. Like, we didn't sort of didn't get too stressed on you know, how things were rolling, and if some songs came out in 1 or 2 takes, some sort of might have taken 5 or 6 or whatever, but we just sort of, you know, plugged away and had fun and
capturing a moment in time.
And then I remember a moment as well where it was one of the few sort of points where we overdubbed parts, because a lot of it was just recorded with all the musicians sort of playing together, but there was one song, song called Good Thing Gone,
Mm.
where I was overdubbing a guitar solo, and Jeff had sort of got the sound set up, which was a really good sound, as all the sounds that Jeff gets on a guitar. And anyway, I was recording it, and we'd had one sort of good pass, and you know, we had a version of the solo done, and sort of Jeff said, "Oh, great, you know, that was good. You've sort of you got that one down." And what tends to happen when you're playing a solo is that you play it once, and then after that, if you can keep playing it, but you tend to just sort of repeat the same ideas basically. So he said, "Let's leave that. You built yourself a roadmap, and sort of, you know, let's try something different." So I went, "Okay, and we'll try something different." And he hit record, and then just as I was about to start playing, he jumps over and sort of says in my ear, "Start on an open string," and it just kind of threw me off balance, you know. So it meant I had to sort of approach it differently, and I just went, "Oh, what? Okay, bang," and played an open string, and then just sort of found my way through a solo and played something completely different to what I usually would play. And that's the one we ended up using, and it was just, you know, it was sort of, I still like that part because it's fresh and it doesn't sound like all the rest of my playing. So
yeah, fantastic.
So this is a song called When the House Shakes, which is on the new album. When the house shakes, I know he's home. He climbs the stairs and slams the door, and my mother will get what she's asking for. When the calm breaks, I know he's home. His feet pound on the hardwood floor, and my sister will get what she's asking for. If he comes breathing down my neck, whiskey sour smell on his breath, bloodshot eyes right in my face, might lose control, I might break. I would stare him down and swing my fist. I hit so hard I nearly break my wrist, and my daddy would know as he fell to the floor. I'd tell him that I'm not a child no more. My daddy will get what he's asking for. My daddy will get what he's asking for.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Jed, for coming in for a chat, and
Pleasure. Yeah.
all the best with your big launch.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And we're sure to see you at a gig soon. So thanks again. Catch you
Pleasure.
soon.
Thank you.
All the
Yeah.
best.